What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord Dr. Professor Dark Joker here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are traditional fans with opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Kagurabachi Chapter 112.1. So in this chapter, Soya Sazanami is revealed to be alive, but he has no memory. But he grabs such memory stuff about like Sorcerers, Taraku's Ichi. He remembers that he's a Sazanami after trying to figure out some of the spells like Iso or whatever. And then he remembers like Hakuri's voice, but can't like remember who the voice is, and he doesn't remember how Sazanami's lost. So he tries to go around trying to get his memories, and he goes to a fortune teller. And then, like, so the fortune teller uses the crystal ball to figure out everything, and then sees, like, basically he sees, like, all of Soya's past. And basically, the fortune teller sends Soya away. And now to get that fortune, Soya basically spent all his money, so he is penniless. And then, like, he kicks a can. The can's like really messed up. Then he's where how the can was able to be damaged like this. So he then punches the wall. The wall cracks. So he notices how he remembers being powerful. So he remembers the feeling of hitting stuff. So he starts just hitting whatever and he starts crying tears of joy and he's trying to like remember everything. And then yeah, he tries to figure out who's like who the voice is. He finds a pigeon. He asks the pigeon if it's him, if the pigeon's it, but the pigeon basically cringes. And Sawyer's like, "Yep, it's not." But then he passes out from hunger and blood loss. So it looks like, and the end really a long journey lies ahead, and two people come across him. So one asks if he's dead. One's like, "I've never seen a pigeon cringe before." This says a long journey lies ahead, so it's like, okay, it looks like the next bit's gonna focus on Soya. Okay, it's probably a tease for, I guess, I don't know, Soya getting involved in the rest of the series, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. I liked how, like, obviously part one ended, so it looks like we're getting like a little interlude before part two starts. Makes sense. I mean, Naruto did that back in the day. But yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi Chapter 81. So in this chapter, so Tosaka, Cook, they're basically exhausted after beating a Neko, and Tosca thought that Hydrico had died in order to help, but Tosca is like, no, don't kill me off. And she wanted to see Neko suffer before he died. And yeah, so basically, but then Karuba, who's the first leader of Bubba's army, he appears, and he's like Helzebub's right hand man. So and like yeah, so Karuba starts attacking all of them, and then you know while this is going on, Lulu guides Shishido to where Bobo's at, and so basically it seems that Lulu's into um like she's into Shishido, Like, and so yeah, so then he has a Devilodon, Mecha Devilodon crash into the castle, and then like you see how's uh you see Bobo like holding up like like a very much injured like Hellzebub. So yeah. So then Shishido confronts Bobo, and then their fight starts. So and yeah, so he tries it, and there's a basically Bobo's like, hey, this is a demon realm. We're gonna the weak are gonna be pressed for it, and Shisho asked if his mother was weak, and Bobo was like, "Oh, I was like, oh, I forgot there was someone like that." So it hints that there's something that happened regarding, I guess, Hellzebub's wife, or whatever. And so one thing about Shisho, he couldn't swallow Bobo's attack, so he like gets hurt. So that's interesting. An attack he can't eat. So yeah. So then it goes back to Karma trying to tackle the attack that Karma did. Basically, it was blocked. There's like a shield that that blocked it, so everyone's fine. And then it's revealed that Kiyoshi is awake, and he's ready. And so yeah, so then we see Kiyoshi start to fight Karuma, and the look on his face is he's serious. Like you can tell the look on his face that he's about to beat the. When you read or watch enough shonen anime and manga, you know that when someone has a serious enough look on his face, you know he's about to basically beat the living crap out of someone. Like when the beating's about to happen. But yeah, I thought this was a really good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Into the Witch chapter 71. So in this chapter, so Chrono Weaver's fading away, so he's dying. And Octobomb or Kizoshiwa, like basically he's sad about it, about losing a friend. And so it's revealed there's various ways to destroy magic. So if magic can be destroyed by overwhelming power, and of course then you have self destruction where the magic uses too much of its own power beyond natural limits. And then yeah, and there's things that magics know that they can or cannot do with their powers, basically at birth. And yeah, so basically yeah, so Crowers accepts that he was he puts himself beyond the limits of his power, and tells Octobomb that he was the weaker one, and he just waits to die. And he says he wants a favor before he dies, and he asks Octobomb to quit trying to attack his family. And Octobomb asks why, and Octobomb Weaver apologizes, says he should have talked to him more, should have introduced Minerva to him, but because he knew Octobomb hated humans, he hid her away, and he never thought to try to convince Octobomb to change. And he says it's all too late. But he wants to talk to him now that he's about to die. And he explains, how humans, they don't live as long. They're obviously weaker, but they have a lot of empathy. And basically, and he tells Octomon it's okay to be friends with people who are weaker than him. And he says if he's Octomon's strong, to not hate humans, just protect them. And he asks as a last favor of a friend. And he sees through a mirror. He can see Chrono Weaver. Chrono Weaver. You can see Minerva one last time. Yeah, and basically his last thoughts are memories of Minnie. Yeah, and so and basically Minnie wished for like a rewind, and then Crow Weaver like basically reforms. They don't know why. Yeah, and basically like Minnie thought that it's a chance to talk to Crow Weaver one last time. Then you see the babies start to form, and then Crow Weaver stops. So it seems like Crow Weaver's about to die once he says so, and it looks like the babies probably about to be. Yeah, they're doing a dream of the endless type thing. So yeah, so I thought it was a really good chapter, good way to help end the fight. Looks like the fight's about to end. Kiyoshi's probably gonna be acquired very soon. Like Ichi's gonna probably like acquire Octobob, Kiyoshi, whatever. The name is like yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. So, yeah, I thought it was a really good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo chapter 23. So in this chapter, Yuji tells Maru that the reason there would be issue and we have to be able to eliminate all cursed spirits is because even though basically almost all spirit like cursed energy is in Japan, there's still a tiny bit outside of Japan. So there may be a few some of the forms. It's not as nearly as much compared to Japan. It's very faint. And yeah, so basically then yeah. So there'll still be like cursed spirits coming in. So the only basically like if so like basically if they eliminate cursed energy from Japan, for the Japanese cursed spirits from overseas will still come to Tokyo. Yeah. Basically like Yuji says if they were to do that, they have to completely eliminate cursed energy from all humanity, whether it's Japan or overseas. But he said but Yuji says they can't, that they probably can't, right? So Mario tries to figure out how to do it. Yeah, and then basically, yeah. So it says if they made it to where the Japan and submarines could emit small levels of cursed energy, similar to how humans outside Japan could do it. Cursed spirits would still appear, but it would be significantly lower. Just it would be more in the levels of like how it is outside Japan. And he says he wants to bring submarines in Japan into harmony, but he says he doesn't want to do anything that could harm anyone. And he says if there's any cursed energy that keeps their bodies moving, it could cause damage if it's removed. Yeah, and so and then basically like in Marvel asks if there are no sorcerers in the world, wouldn't there'd be a risk of some cursed spirits being born with very powerful abilities. Yuji says he'll take care of that. Yeah, and so and basically it could maybe allow Tokyo to be reconstructed like at a faster rate. And then, but there's also the issue that maybe submarines and Earthlings could get still be in conflict over cursed spirits. And then, so Yuji says maybe the thing to do is to deal with whatever's causing confusion between the Romillions to confuse cursed spirits and Callions. and basically, and then what's different about the spirit, her spirits and Callians, why Remilians think they're the same. And so cursed spirits, they're born from cursed energy, so they're basically naturally evil. But like something that may be similar to the cursed spirits may not be evil. And then Yuji starts talking about Tengen. Even though Tengen's existence was like closer was closer to being like a cursed spirit, it wasn't evil. Then you had Choso, what happened, all the stuff. It was part human, part cursed spirit, all the stuff that happened with him. And it's like it's possible that the reason Callians attack anything besides Remulians is the same kind of how Yuji put the same kind of evil as cursed spirits. And then and basically amongst like souls with multiple colors, Callians, cursed spirits, Remilians have the same colors. And cursed spirits are basically just vessels made from the cursed energy being leaked out. And so basically souls that are the same color as Callians, Remilians reside in those vessels. And yeah, so and then yeah, Yuji wonders if there's something that could be dealt with that. And Mari says that maybe you could overwrite the color of the souls. Then yeah, so then basically then also so yeah, try to figure what it is. So you have yeah, so then you have so Dabra is so you see like this shaman, then you have Dabra. Looks like Mario has a conversation with Dabra, apologizes for entering his duel, and then like you see yeah, and then yeah, so trying to figure out what's going on. So yeah, so Dabra agrees to leave to go back to Simura. And so you see Maru do looks like something on Yuta, Tsurugi, basically everyone who's hurt. Yeah. And Maru says whatever you do that he could do it himself. And Yuji's gonna do what he needs to do. So you see like Maru do something, and and he basically wants to. He says whatever he's now ready to take the burden. You see Cross, Yuta, and Tsurugi there with him. So I guess carried the burden with him. To like pacify all the spirits. And, basically Mars he'll conclude the ritual of harmony. So we'll see how that goes. Like so this should be interesting. See how all that what happens there. Like yeah, how this ritual does this bring like a big peace between the Sumerians and the humans. That should be interesting. But yeah, I thought that was a decent chapter. You know, Obviously trying to explain how to deal with the whole issue with cursed spirits. So yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Gonron Egg Chapter 16. So in this chapter, the human liberation armies fight against Reigoku's army is starting now. Basically, you have like over 2,000 Drakarks at wherever the battlegrounds at. So yeah, yeah, everyone's fighting. Then yeah, so basically then all the major leaders are there doing their fights. Gonrong and Oma are there, and like So yeah, so basically then Goku is confronted, by one of the captains. So yeah, that should be interesting, like how that fight goes. Yeah. So yeah, so I thought it was an interesting chapter. Yeah. It's definitely yeah, it's definitely about the end. The series is definitely about the end. But yeah, I thought it was a decent chapter, Hopefully the ending's not too rushed. Feels like they're doing more. It's not doing like what Odor the Flame is, just doing like a two-chapter thing that's like give us barely like it was like it's handling the ending how to come up quickly. It's handling it better than like let's say Over the Flame did, and vice versa. But like it's handling better. It's giving us okay. It looks like it's actually showing us the final battle, and we'll see how it ends. Like hopefully it ends well. So yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. The Mage Next Door, chapter 15. So in this chapter, Osagawa, um, he continues his fight against Hidaka, and he's using like fly swatting magic in order to like deflect his attacks, and then he's able to beat Hidaka, and yeah, so and then after basically capturing them, Osagawa and Yoga try to ask them questions about Doroi. And, Hidaka says he doesn't know about like why they're told to get the treasure gems. Like it's basically they were just told by their superiors in Doroi. And yeah, so then but it revealed the one who actually gave them the three Doroi mages the orders to go there was a superior officer named Ein or Ine, however it be pronounced. Spelled Ine. Maybe Ine. Who knows? And so the others are like, wait, should you be giving away that kind of intel? He goes like, I don't care. He basically like, he hates the other officers, like his higher ups. And so Osagawa's idea is to take, obviously the three mages to Divine Magus and looks like ask Divine Magus about some stuff with Doroi. See what she knows looks like. So yeah. So it's basically his first time back in the magic worlds in a while. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. Interesting how they're supposed to like we got a villain name. So I don't know if that means this is about to end soon or if it's just the next villain for the arc. Hopefully it's a series that goes on for a while because it's a good series. But yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Kunon the Sorcerer can see episode 9. So in this episode, at his new school, Kunon meets Saint Lace, Lancelor. So basically, she has light magic, so Kunon keeps asking her questions about her magic. And it's revealed that Race has a hero scar that prevents her from feeling emotions. And during the whole thing, Kunon meets Professor Soft, who I guess by how who has like light orbs surrounding him, and then the assistant Safety, who has mice surrounding her. And so basically, so Soft explains that Kunon, Race, and the other two students, whose names are Hank and Ria, have letters of recommendation to the advanced class. And so they explain, the students are explaining what, you know, their magic on. So Hank is a fire crest with 7 elementary spells. Ria's a wind crest, eight elementary spells. Race is a light crest with 5 intermediate spells. Kunon, of course, being a wildwood, 2 elementary spells. And Soph is confused because Zionli told him to make Kunon's entrance exam difficult as possible. So how he does so Soph makes a wind like shield surround him, basic, kind of like Arrow from Kingdom Hearts, the first one anyway. And he tells Kunon to penetrate the wind barrier with water. So Kunon does a spell to surround the bear water, makes it red, and he says he could keep it up over 2 days since there's no time limit, and he's basically probably waiting for Soft to run out of magic in a few hours. And Soft surrenders because he could tell by how he could sense that no, Kuon's telling the truth about that, keeping the spell for 2 days. So Kuon keeps asking Ray's questions about light magic. Everyone assumes he's just flirting. Which I mean, Kuon could come across that way. I mean, but Reyes is not interested in telling him anything about magic, so individual interviews happen. So Kunon ends up in a pitch black room for his interview. There's 7 people who accept Kunon to the advanced class. Basically, one of them named Rova is interested in the Kunon's magic eye spell. He's interested in that. So yeah, I thought it was a good episode. They're like just introducing the new school, the students that Kunon's going to be dealing with. Some new teachers. So Soph, I guess, had known Zionli from school. Looks like they were classmates. And Seifi has some issues with Zionli. It seems like there's a past between them, whatever that past is. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see what that is. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Kai-chan isn't scary. Episode 7. So in this episode, Kai's mother has to be in the hospital. There's some concerns about the baby's development. So there's a risk of preterm, like basically there's concern about, and especially with Kai being born through C-section. There's a risk of the baby's health. So Kai's mother's staying in the hospital. So Kai's in a daycare for a little bit. She's planning to head to the bathroom, but then she hears like a woman screaming. Goes in there, and there's these ghosts, these evil baby ghosts surrounding. Kai beats up the ghosts, and sees it, and the mother's trying to find her baby, and she hears the crying baby. She interacts with her baby crying, and then a nurse, whoever doctor comes in and tells Kai, tells Kai she shouldn't be in a room by herself, and Kai looks up and sees that the mother and baby have disappeared, and she asks where they at, like, hey, where's the mother and baby? And there's like nurse is like don't say so, there's no one there, and shown there's some files that it looks like the mother and baby had died, and basically this was their ghosts reuniting before, I guess, passing away peacefully. And then yeah, and then Kai is picked up from school by Dana. Basically Kai's father had called I guess this the school about it, I guess due to Kaya's mother being in the hospital. And so there's like a ghost that like follows them home, and the ghost like tries to impersonate Kaya's father, and Nana tells Kaya to not and basically she's trying to find something in her mother's room. So she tells Kaya to not Nana tells Kaya to not like open the door for anyone, even if it's someone that she knows. And so and the ghost so the specter tries to like tries to impersonate like Mob, but when Kai knows that the ghost is like is not Mob, because Mob, like she was called Kaya, not Kaya Sama. And then the ghost impersonates Nana, saying that the Nana inside is a ghost impersonator. So Kaya does open the door then, and then the ghost tries to attack Kaya. Nana then attacks it, putting like a little like a demon seal thing. And then Kaya beats up the ghost. no, now notices that there's some power inside Kai. Now earlier there in between all that, there's like a scene where you know, you have to play all the kids are going to the playground and all the kids get possessed by some ghost that makes them do dangerous stuff, and Kaya, she tries to warn Saku to not. Basically, it's like right when Saku's about to hit this one kid, like while they're on the slide, like so Saku goes head first down the slide, which you're not supposed to do, and the kids walking up the slide at the same time. Basically other kids grab before Saku can hit him, and basically, they're all talking about like accidents and stuff. Like all the teachers talk about the accidents, like they don't want the court just get removed before accidents. Like, what is there gonna do for the kids to play with? And like you have like usually parents are supposed to adults supposed to watch over the kids, make sure they're safe. Because it also shows like later, fathers like you know there's little girls on like the swings, climb up on the railing, and the father's not paying enough attention. The daughter falls off. You just see her fall off. You don't, and she like basically the reason the kids are acting like is because yeah, is basically the difference is is basically they're all possessed. They get possessed, and yeah, and you could see yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how so what all happens with Kai's mother, like with the baby. So yeah, I thought it was a good episode, and like I thought it was freaking funny. Like, dude, the whole the ghost guy feels like, what kind of kid would call her Kaya-sama? Like the kid, like what normal adult calls a child that? I'm like, well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily open a door for Kaya, open door for Mob in the first place. I mean, and it's like you have Kaya just watching like some like little kids cartoon about some cat or something. And it's funny, it's like even though Kaya sees so many dark stuff, she's just a little girl who likes her little like I don't know, PBS Kids, Nick Jr., Disney, Playhouse Disney stuff, whatever. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Oedo Fire Slayer: The Legend of Phoenix, episodes 5 and 6. So in these episodes, Gingo like basically recruits all of like his firefighters to form the Borohogumi, and so you have a soba shop. There's like a fire breaks out. You have Seijiro help save some people, has to deal with save some people, and then there's a lead regarding an arsonist named Kitsunemi, who's doing all these foxfire blazes. So yeah, so basically there's arson going on like throughout the air, which makes if you're gonna have a villain in a firefighting show, makes sense you have an arson. And so yeah, so then they basically there's a conspiracy regarding the Sinjo domain. Um, and they have to do some tactics. They deal with like there's like this group of like people working at a temple. They're concerned with protect the temple, but there's issues with them trying to protect the they don't necessarily as concerned about protecting the people. As long as the temple's safe, they're not gonna be as worried. Doesn't mean they're gonna forcibly just abandon everyone, but so there's like conflict there, and there's issue with the and you have concerns with the Matsunaga also shows some fear when he's about to go into a fire save a girl, but like he gets over the fear, basically something from his past. And so yeah, so honestly, they're still trying to find you know they're still trying to find the the arsonist. try to do is obviously it's a new team, you know see how they go, and they're basically I guess they rub some people the wrong way. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I thought these were good episodes, decent episodes. Obviously the animation could use some work. I mean, the 3D animation, I'm not a big fan of it. It's not like complete trash, but the 3D has not looked that great. But overall, I thought it was a decent episode. Looking forward to the next one. Hell's Paradise, Season 2, Episode 7. So in this episode, so two fights. You have the Oza brothers and Jufa. Then you have the Talfa fight. So with the Oza brothers, so in it, so Toma confronts Chobe, and Chobe appears to side with the Tenzin, but it's real that Chobe was siding with Toma. Toma noticed because of the way with the braid, like Chobe had his braid. Basically, if it was untied, like it meant that he was lying to whoever. So and then so that's how Toma knew that Chobe was really side with him. So they fight uh, Jufa, and unlike the first time, they're actually doing pretty well, and like they're getting a lot of good hits, so they're having a lot more success. And Talfa, who's fight she's fighting you know Gantetsu and Fuchi. So yeah, so and they can't really perceive Tau very well, so they have trouble seeing the Tension's attacks. Now Gantet Tetsusai is kind of able to see it some when his eyes there's blood covering like blocking his vision of one of his eyes, but he's able to perceive Tau that way. They didn't realize he could see Tau if you can't see it. So his idea is to like gouge out the other eye and let the other eye be blinded, so you can perceive Tau, and allows to just dodge attacks, so it helps give him an edge in the fight. Because Gantetsu's side was able to get an attack that was hard to regenerate. No, it's actually kind of funny. So Talfa's in like her is basically in the female form, which is for that character that's mostly common. So Gantetsu's is like very much is attracted to her, and like it's so like Talfa is like it tells him that he's not her type, which that bit's funny. So yeah, so now we got the next stage of the fight, next feature episode. So yeah, I like this. I like the combat in it. It was awesome. The way like how Gatetsu Sai was able to like figure out how to perceive Tau and they handle the attacks. So, yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Under Doctor Chapter 5. So in this chapter, Haiji is talking to the assassin, who like basically can only use sign language, and so he's like the first like person outside of, like the assassin's parents that has been able to communicate with the character, you know, and so they actually have a conversation in sign language, but but the assassin's still like yeah willing to fight. So then they have their fight. So and it's like a cool fight. You see them like doing the attacks, but like Haiji's like holding back a little bit, and so yeah. So you see the assassin like trying gradually remembering like I guess the past, like under the Grim Reaper. Basically, the set is like a was the teacher. So Grim Reaper was that one's teacher. So you see this, and then like yeah. So then you see the like continuing the fight, and assassin tries to like choke out Haiji, but then Haiji uses his like pressure points at the neck, which really hurts the character. He pokes at the mask and breaks it, so you see the face, and then like whatever pressure points he pressed, it did something, and the assassin says "ow," and so everyone's like, "Wait, this guy spoke." So I was like, "That's gonna be interesting next week how that's dealt with." Yeah, that's definitely interesting. Yeah, like yeah, that's definitely interesting. Yeah, so this character, that should be interesting. What happens there? Like, yeah, we'll see what happens. Like how the character reacts to the assassin reacts to being able to speak now, and we'll see how that affects the rest of the this arc. So yeah, I thought it was a really good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Kiyoto's Magic, Chapter 4. So in this chapter, Kiyoto and Kaminagi are continuing to fight the slimes, and obviously Kiyoto's using the massage ball in order to attack all of them, and and then basically, Kiyoto's interested in learning from Kaminagi, and then but Kaminagi remembers that others had that kind of light in their eyes, had that hope, but then a lot of them just left. And so then there's like a giant slime chasing the kid. So they saved the kid, and then yeah. So basically, the kid the mom the kid's mom's sick and couldn't move, and like so he was trying to get some food for her. So yeah, and basically Kino says he knows that whatever Kagurabachi's magic is, it injures her every time, and then basically the wavelength of magic of mana with the katana and her don't match, and basically he wants to support Kaminagi, like his magic is kind of like a support type magic, and like Kino says basically it's due to this her being sensitive to cold. So yeah, so basically his idea is to use his Seite magic to basically kind of heal her, help her magic, so that she can circulate well and be able to use her katana. So she pulls out her katana, and now she's ready to get serious. So yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. It looks like we have the two bonding. Kaminagi's probably about to the point of accepting Kinato, or at least tolerate him. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Alien Headbutt Chapter 3. So in this one, Shirokiba is testing his strength. Um, basically before he goes to the alien base, he wants to try and figure out how strong he is, how that much that parasite's affecting his physical abilities. Now there's also issue of it affecting his health. And so basically then he and Haruha head towards and he heads to Mikurojima Middle School, which is around where some of the I guess alien pods are at. And so that's the school that Shirokiba went to. And then basically he had scouted. Haruha had scouted with binoculars earlier, and there were 5 egg sacs there. But Haruha says he doesn't know if anyone from Shirokiba's family was there, but his brother is in one of them, and so basically his brother tried to save everyone, but there were two aliens on the roof. And then so when they get there, the aliens are already dead. And then basically they get everyone out of the egg sacs, but they're all passed out, but they don't see the so they so basically they try Haruo tells his brother whose name's Tatsumi to wake up, and Shiroki was like, "Wait, Tatsumi's your brother?" Apparently, Tatsumi was Shiroki's friend from way back in the day. Basically, Shiroki used to be bullied, and Tatsumi would save him from bullies. And Tatsumi wakes up, sees them, and Tatsumi asks Shiroki why he didn't take Haruo out of there. And Shiroki says he couldn't ban everyone. And basically, Tatsumi says there are aliens higher, more powerful than the kind that they've been dealing with. Basically, when he was inside Exac, he could see them. But he's like, what they're doing is carry the aliens out of there. But then this more powerful alien arrives, and it's like this giant is like eating the other aliens. And so yeah, so he tries to use a suplex on the alien, that the bigger alien, but the alien then throws him. And then yeah, but then Shuriken grabs a knife and tries to stab the alien, but the blade can't even get through the eyeball. But then Shuriken's like, okay, he just puts more force into it, and he's able to stab it in the eye. He basically does a headbutt. He headbutt the knife into the alien's eye to get more force on it. So then now Shuriken says now it's his turn to save Tatsumi. So he's basically ready to fight the alien. So yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. Like to introduce, Tatsumi. You know, in case there's a higher level of aliens, so probably there's like a ranking system. So I was like, okay, so it ain't just these weak ones that Shirokyu has been able to fight. Makes sense. But yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. I like how they introduced these new aliens. So I like this chapter. Looking forward to the next one.
And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.